Well, good morning everybody, this is DearMamaSal, and it's a beautiful Wednesday morning. It is 16 degrees already here in southern British Columbia, and that would make it 60 degrees in northern Washington State. Wow, it's going to be a hot one, and that's wonderful to hear. I'm just wondering how everybody's doing with their what makes you happy experiment. I noticed that a couple of you have written to me, and at least one person, was it Carly, wrote to me and said, how can the story about the Lion King, which is only an hour and a half long, take 3 hours to tell from a kid? Well, I can explain to you why that takes 3 hours. The reason it takes 3 hours is because when a child, let's say Zuzu, whatever its name was, flies down and says hello to Simba. Well, the first 10 minutes is explaining who Zuzu is, and then the next 10 minutes is about explaining how he flew. And then 10 minutes later, they remember that once Zuzu was flying in to say hello to Simba, you know, an ant was running up a leaf or something. You know what I mean? And that takes another 10 minutes. So believe you me, what is a split second in a movie can take hours for a kid to give you the full benefit of their knowledge. Absolutely hysterical. Anyway, I enjoyed reading the comic because it reminded me of just how long that story took, and it really did. It really did take a long time. Maybe you've got people who tell stories like that, you know, who really think you're interested in all the intimate details of everything. You know, it has you begging for, please could you give me the Reader's Digest version of the story. You know, I really don't care whether the wind was blowing or the leaves were falling at the same time. Just give me the bottom line, what happened. Now I wonder if any of you have that issue as well. I think it has to do with certain personality types. It's not that we don't care, it's like, really, I've got things I need to do, and I'd like to do them. I want to listen to you, I really do. But ask me if I care about the leaves. But I also know that that's my problem. And so what I need to do is take a deep breath and just be in the moment. And respect this is the other person's way of telling a story. And of course, if I ask them to give me the Reader's Digest version, they feel crushed. Because the message they get is they're not interested. You're not interested in the real story. Which is not true. Which is not true at all. So, right. And I'm just thinking about various people that tell me stories and the different ways in which they do it. It just made me chuckle because they really, I have some very interesting friends in my life. All right, so now then, happy or sad? It's a choice. Today's topic that I wanted to talk about is really, how's your body language? All right, do you walk with your shoulders down Yeah. Do you really struggle to crack a smile? Do you lift your chins up when you walk? You know, do you stand like a winner or do you slouch like a loser? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a lot about how you approach life. They say that as high as 80% of our communication is done by our body language. People believe what they see you do much more than what you say you do. Right? And body language is a really big part of that. Tell you what, let's do a bit of an experiment. But before we do the experiment, before I forget, big round of applause, please. Carrie wrote and told me about, I think it's 60 days that she hasn't smoked. Way to go, Carrie. And also that she is beginning to cope with all that's going on around her without necessarily taking the anxiety pills. In other words, she's learning to breathe and look at things from the outside. And, you know, I know what that takes, Carrie, so, you know, congratulations. I'm really, really proud of you. The whole trick is just to look at the situation. I think somebody described it to me once as don't be in the situation, look at it from the outside in and go, wow, what would you advise your best friend to do in this situation? You know, always look at it from the outside in, and then you'll get a much better sense of what the right behavior will be, or the right words will be, or the right whatever. It's when we get sucked in by it all that really we get into anxiety attacks and everything else. So, way to go, Carrie. 10 out of 10 on that one. Thank you so much for letting me know as well, so that we can let everybody else know. All right. Now, where were we? Body language and the experiment. So, depending on what you're doing, and if you're driving a car, do not do anything stupid here. All right, so what I want you to do is think about if you're in a car, imagine this, don't do it. Raise your hands up to the skies and shout to the world, I am miserable. Just like that. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. I am miserable. Okay, fine. And now then, the next thing to do is to slouch over, look at the floor, get a really pathetic feeling about you, and say, I'm so happy. How pathetic is that? You see, that's why people really respect good actors, because they can actually do that and make it work. So the truth is, I bet you could feel it in your body. Could you feel the difference? You see, when we have a happy demeanor, when we have a happy body language thing going, then our whole body can feel it. You get energy, you get vibrance, your smile brightens up, and therefore people smile back at you more, which makes you smile all the more, and it's an ongoing circle. So, try looking at life from a positive point of view today, with your body language. If things start to get you down, stand up and go, okay, fine, I'm not going to let this affect my body language. You know, straighten your back, butt in, boobs out, chins up, smile out. You know, and just do a body check. You know, how am I walking today? And if you want to know if you're in balance, you know, do the old trick and stick a book on your head and try walking across your living room and see how you do. That will tell you how much you slouch. I remember the nuns used to make me do that. A lot. So, I wonder if I can do it. Now, I do need to report today that I did get the brushes out. All the makeup brushes that Judy so kindly gave me. And I even read the instructions, which is not something I normally do. Just to get an idea of what they were all for. Now, I have no idea why one needs that many when, you know, one Uber brush will do. But anyway, I did try doing that today, and to my pleasant surprise, it's really nice to be able to put the dark colors on with one brush and then the lighter ones on with another. That's a luxury I haven't had before. And then when I wanted to blend everything, to actually have, you know, a choice of brushes I could do that with. Nice. So, very big thanks. By the way, I am going to be doing a quick tutorial, a quick first impression on some mascara that Judy had me try out. I'm actually impressed. I'm not impressed by mascaras very often. They normally drive me insane. This one, I like, which in itself is startling, and therefore worth mention. Alright, so now then, we had a really nice, honest bit of feedback from one of our broadcast viewers by the name of Doug. He's not my Doug, as you know. He is a visiting Doug. And Doug was talking about the fact that when he was on the broadcast, he was telling us very sadly about the fact he had to go to a funeral the next day. And I'm talking about this on the vlog because he wrote me a letter that was public. I mean, he wrote me a note that was public. So obviously he's okay talking about it, which means it must be okay for me to be talking about it. But here's the reason why I want to talk about it. When he told me that he had to go to his brother's funeral, he did say that he had a few issues with, let's put it nicely, the dysfunctional side of that family. Or who knows, both sides of the family. I have no idea. But I did say to him somewhere along the line, you know, it's not going to change. And if you want to actually be happy, you've got to just accept the fact that they're going to keep doing what they're doing. You know, what I found with dysfunction and people who sort of dwell in it is that they're happy believing what they believe. And I think the reason that celebrities survive is they don't read all the dysfunction in the press. Right? They don't read all the rumors, they don't read this, that, and the other. They don't care. That's what they learn to do. They learn just to go on living their lives. And what 60 million different views are, it doesn't interest them. Because they know they've got haters and they know they've got super fans, and it's just like life goes on. Their job is just to continue doing what they do as best they can. And so that's what I'm trying to explain to people is, you know, if you've got people that hate you, they're going to hate you. You know, it doesn't matter whether you turn yourself into a pretzel or scream and shout and complain, they're still going to just be who they are. And so the interesting thing was that Doug was saying that this whole funeral thing was a disaster from his perspective. You know, his flowers weren't put in the right place and all sorts of stuff. And you could hear how really angry he was at many levels. And Doug, if you're listening to this in any way, gosh, my heart bleeds for you because I know how painful that is. Really? Did you expect anything different? And funny enough, he was kind enough to write on his note to me, "You told me nothing would change and you were right." Now, obviously, I love it when I'm right. Yeah, I'm quite human on that level. But, you know, you can't keep having the same people and expecting them to do different things unless they've been through radical therapy or, you know, a life-changing moment maybe, or, you know, done a major course on self-development. You know, they're not going to change. It's who they are now. It's what they want to believe. And my experience has been that's not going to change. I was in quite a discussion yesterday at one point about the fact that, you know, when you've lived in Africa, you understand what poor is, you know, poverty. You see it every day. When you live in Canada, I'm amazed what people think poor is. You know, poor in Canada is when you can't afford a cell phone. Or, God forbid, a PVR. You know, that's poor. Now, in most of the countries in the world today, that isn't poor. You know, the fact you have a roof over your head and plenty of food on the table is considered to be rich. But people are miserable. Miserable. Downright pathetic in some ways if they haven't got these luxuries. Now, I've got to be quite honest, would I be a little bit peeved today if I didn't have those luxuries? Yeah. But you know, I work really hard for them. I work really hard for them. I'm not expecting somebody to supply them. I actually work really hard to provide those things and to put a roof over my head that I own. You know what I mean? It's like that. I'm very proud of them. Now, did I have to wait a long time to be able to do that? Absolutely. Yes, I did. But you know, what makes me happy is that I did it. And, you know, I've been pretty down and out in my time, as well as very successful. And I'm somewhere in between that now. And I'm happy. Wow. And I am getting happier all the time. And I believe that the reason is because I actually understand myself now, and I'm not trying to please everybody anymore. You know that one. Good. Oh, you want me to, you know, do this? Okay, fine. If you'll love me, then I'll do that. You want me to do this? Okay, if you love me, I'll do that. Become like the other person and they will love you. Well, hello. That is not love. So, take a different attitude. As I said, straighten your back today. For those of you who can. Lift your chins today, for those of you who can. Smile lots today. Because your body language can totally change your day. And if any of you have got pets, and a lot of you have, understand that their body language talks to you far louder than anything else. They have managed to communicate with you all the time without really being able to speak. There's the occasional woof, right? I mean, Bina occasionally does woof at me. That's like, could you listen to me, please? But that's the only time he ever woofs at me. The rest he does by the tilt of his head, by the wag of his tail. If you want to see body language, you know, Manon and I send each other happy box pictures every few days. And I sent her some today that were, you know, dogs with signs, you know, different. I don't know if you've seen them. If you want to go to Google Images and just do dogs with signs. And, you know, it's sort of like I have pooped in the house, you know, and the dog is all crestfallen, yeah, the head's down. So if you want to study body language, just have a look at those different dogs and see what their expression is without saying anything, because some of those pictures are hysterical. And so are some of the signs. So it was a great way to start my day. And thank you for that, Manon, because it's fun finding the pictures to send to you. I really did enjoy that. Really enjoyed it. I also enjoyed, Dougie bought me a beautiful orchid for Mother's Day, and I enjoyed replanting that. The reason I replanted it was in a great big wonderful orange mug, which will be very nice, thank you, to have my coffee in. And so I needed to get the plant out of that mug and put it into another one. And so now it is sitting on my mantelpiece looking absolutely wonderful. And that made me very happy. As did the weather yesterday. We had awesome weather. All right, so have a good day. Choose to be happy or sad and demonstrate that by your body language. See how you do. Like a lot of things, you may need to practice that. And I really recommend, for those of you who've been suffering from anxiety and stuff, you know, check in every hour. Ask yourself, how's my body language like right now? Am I standing up and doing stuff, or am I sitting down and feeling sorry for myself? Am I curled up in a ball like a baby, or am I walking around the block, getting some fresh air? Now, I know that's pretty simplistic, but you know something? It can make a world of difference to your day, as Carrie is finding out, I'm sure. And so, way to go. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Be happy where you can, and be who you are the rest of the time. And may you be getting happier all the time. For those of you who laughed a little, I'm glad. For those of you who made it all the way to the end of this broadcast, thank you. If you're not a subscriber, please check the button wherever and do that. And don't forget, if you want to be kept in touch of broadcasts and other fun things that we do, please check the Facebook and Twitter icons below here. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, have fun. Bye-bye for now.